Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a blessed day. So today is April 7th, everyone. Yes, I know so many of you finally received your $1,400 third stimulus check today. And this is just such wonderful news. After weeks of anxiously waiting, you finally have your stimulus money. And congratulations to all of you that got your stimulus payment today. Many have shared in the comment section below that their $1,400 payment was made available to them a few hours after midnight. I was pleasantly surprised to hear that several banks released stimulus funds to its customers earlier than 6 a.m. Direct Express did begin releasing the $1,400 stimulus payments to Social Security and other federal program beneficiaries around 1 a.m. this morning. Many of you called Direct Express around 1 a.m. this morning and were extremely happy to hear that your $1,400 was in your account. And this was just so amazing. Chase and Bank of America customers are also finally receiving their $1,400 checks. Congratulations again to all of you that received your $1,400. Now, for those of you that are still waiting for your $1,400 stimulus checks to clear, please do not worry. Almost every single bank has already begun releasing stimulus funds to its customers. You should definitely be receiving your stimulus money before the end of today. Just remember to keep an eye out on your bank account, and at any moment today, your check could be made available to you. There is some good news for those of you that do not currently see a pending deposit or payment date on the IRS Get My Payment tool. The Internal Revenue Service will continue to send out batches of stimulus checks to eligible Americans on a weekly basis. It is very unfortunate that you have not received your stimulus payment yet, but it is definitely still possible for you to receive your $1,400 check by the end of this week. Just last week, the IRS announced that there were about 30 million Social Security and other federal program recipients that had not received their stimulus check yet. In less than a week, the agency was able to send out third stimulus checks to 90 million eligible Americans. That was a huge amount of money.
Another update, today we can proudly say that in addition to the $150 million, we have successfully sent over 150 million relief checks to the American people. The fourth batch of the economic impact payments from the American Rescue Plan totals more than 25 million payments, which brings the total dispersed so far to more than 156 million payments, totaling $372 billion since the plan was signed into law less than a month ago. The largest block of these latest payments went to Social Security beneficiaries who didn't file a 2020 or 2019 tax return and didn't use the non-filers tool last year, which is consistent with our view that it would be more challenging. The easiest would be those who had information that the IRS had, and it would become more challenging. So this is a more challenging group, but this is certainly good news. Within 2 weeks of the American Rescue Plan becoming law, the IRS and Treasury had started dispersing 170 million payments. At a similar point during the first round of economic impact payments authorized a year ago, the first payments had yet to be completed. So just to give you a point of comparison. It's also important to note, and I know there's been some coverage of this, the IRS has been consistently underfunded, with 20,000 fewer staff available to help Americans. That's over the last 10 years, 20,000 fewer. And our commitment is also to working on this problem and hiring more personnel at the IRS. The President's Rescue Plan secured an additional $1.5 billion to help the IRS get checks out checks and modernize. And we are pleased that since the beginning of this administration, the inherited backlog of 2019 returns has been cut in half. One other update. Good news you can use. I'll put it in that category. Health and Human Services Secretary Becerra announced that more than 500,000 Americans have already signed up for coverage on healthcare.gov since the beginning of the special enrollment period. Nearly 15 million Americans who currently lack health insurance and many current enrollees are eligible. An average of 4 out of 5 consumers currently enrolled in Marketplace coverage can now find a plan for $10 or less a month after the tax credits. Finally, the First Lady announced earlier today advocates and stakeholders from around the world as she set forth the priorities of joining forces. She spent the last few months hearing directly from families, caregivers, survivors, relations across the country. The mission of joining forces is to support those who also serve. The work and priorities of joining forces will families in the areas of employment and entrepreneurship.
What makes me upset and angry is that there are still Social Security and other federal program beneficiaries that still have not received their $1,400 third stimulus payment. And this is just absolutely ridiculous. I do not understand what is preventing the IRS from sending you your stimulus check. I know that the IRS is definitely capable of sending out every SSI, SSDI, RRB, and survivors recipient their $1,400 stimulus check before the end of this week. The first batch of stimulus checks went to taxpayers who have direct deposit information on file at the IRS, either from their 2019 or 2020 tax returns, or returns from those who had used the IRS non-filers tool in 2020. The second batch of stimulus checks included more paper checks and the economic impact payment debit cards. Now we are currently on the third batch of stimulus checks. Most of these stimulus checks this week will be sent out through direct deposit. However, there is now a lot of confusion relating to stimulus checks and how to claim a tax credit for any money still owed. The Internal Revenue Service is correcting plenty of mistakes that are being made after people plug in the wrong number for the recovery rebate credit on their federal income tax returns. Mark Luscombe is an analyst for Wolters Kluwer Tax and Accounting. He said in a statement, "Anytime there is something new on a tax return, it usually has an elevated error rate. The IRS may have a greater volume of erroneous tax returns than normal, and refunds are generally slowed when the IRS detects such errors." So right now, the IRS also has to deal with these extra errors that are probably creating some processing problems. The Internal Revenue Service has already begun mailing letters to some taxpayers who claimed the 2020 recovery rebate credit and may be getting a different amount than they had expected. Recently, the IRS had stated, if a correction is needed, there may be a slight delay in processing the return, and the IRS will send the taxpayer a letter or notice explaining any change. The Internal Revenue Service will calculate the correct amount. Once the correct amount is calculated, the IRS will then make the correction and continue processing the return. So for those of you that are claiming missing stimulus money, please make sure to provide the IRS with your correct information. According to the Internal Revenue Service, they will not calculate the recovery rebate credit for people. You're going to need to figure out line 30 when you file a tax return. But the IRS did state, if you make a mistake on line 30, the IRS will calculate the correct amount of the recovery rebate credit, make the correction to your tax return, and continue processing your return. Please do leave any questions or comments in the comment section below. I will do my very best to answer any questions that you may all have. That is the end of the video for now. Please don't forget to enter the $50 Amazon gift card giveaway, which is scheduled for this coming Friday evening. All you'll need to do is subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment below. Thank you and have a very blessed day.